Hi, this is Karen with Over the Artsy Moon, and today we're going to be stenciling Live Life in Full Bloom. This is a really pretty stencil from the Stencilsmith. I'm an affiliate for them, so you can use my code Artsy Moon to get a discount when you decide to get this beautiful stencil. If you like it, check out how I use it today, and then you can see how I'm going to use it and decide if it works for you. I can get that out. This is a canvas bag, and I am using number 9938 Live Life in Full Bloom for my stencil. I'm going to use some stencil brushes here. We'll see if I need more. This one's a 5/8, and then this is a 3/8, and this is a 1/4 inch. And use whatever you have available. Definitely stencil brushes are easier, and we're going to do this on fabric, so I'm just going to fold this over. I will just make a note. I do have a piece of plastic. This is for my printmaking, and it comes in handy for other things too. I'm just going to tuck this under here if I can manage. Okay, and then I want it centered. I've got it centered nicely there. That should work. And I'll just place that there. Let's see. Actually, I might go a little higher so I don't have it on the black. So let me adjust this. Okay, yeah, that will work great. And as long as that plastic piece is centered, it's the exact same size as the stencil. Maybe I'll bring this down just like that. Okay, you could try to tape it. I'm not sure it's going to stay on the plastic, on the fabric, so we'll just deal with it. I'm going to start by using multi-surface paints. These are from Folk Art, and you can use them on fabric and they will work great. You don't really have to treat them after. You could do let it dry for 24 hours and then use a low iron on it if you think it's going to be out in the elements a lot or a lot of wear and tear. I don't expect that's going to be an issue for this, but I'm just going to go ahead and paint it. And then, you know, if you've ever gotten acrylic paint on yourself, your clothes, it's hard to get out. So we're not too worried here. All right, and then this one does have the overlay, so it makes it super easy to get those nice little highlights and accents in there. This one is Citrus Green from, oops. Well, here we go. I already managed to get it on my my bag. I don't know if I have a baby wipe here. Let me grab that. I don't think you can see it on the camera, but it is on the black part. If it doesn't come off, I could always just use, oh, it is coming off though. Best laid plans, right? You always think it's going to work out fine, and then you just deal with it. And there I have it on this part now. Okay, I might just have to make that an accent or put a leaf there, because on the white it's not coming off so easily. It'll work in the end. All right, let's see if I can kind of put a leaf there. Actually, that's not too bad. I can probably make that work. It works. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and try pour this citrus now onto the palette instead of all over my canvas bag. Just keeping it real here, guys. Just keeping it real. All right, I love these stencils. They're nice and thick. They're good quality. This one is Classic Green. We're going to keep this really simple and sort of do a flat look to our painting. We're not going to do too much with highlights or anything like that, or shadows. We're just going to keep it super simple. So take your stencil brush, don't get it wet. You're going to just come into your paint, get it into those bristles, and then just start going ahead and you could either, I think I'm going to try tapping onto the fabric because I believe it's going to work a little bit better than do my normal swishing. When I'm using wood or canvas, I usually do like a swishing motion, but this is covering nicely. Okay, you can get the look there. So you still don't want too much on your brush though. It will absorb right away. So I think in some ways fabric is a little more forgiving because you don't have to worry too much about your fabric, allowing the paint to go under the stencil too much, especially with the tapping method here. I'm just going to keep it real light here, especially I've got other things going on in the stencil. So I want to keep my green in the green area. Okay, I think that's pretty good. We're going to just do a little more with this green. You could use a smaller brush too if you feel more comfortable with that. Like all acrylics, you can layer on top of it and it might show a little bit of that green underneath, but it will also primarily show the new color. Okay, so here's what that looks like. Okay, so I did go into those flower areas a little bit. That'll just act as a shadow. Not too concerned. Okay, let's do this part right over here. These leaves that are about the same size. We're going to use this dark green. That's a beautiful green, honestly. I love it. What's your favorite green to use when you're painting? Do you have a favorite? I just love so many of them. It's hard to pick just one. And have you ever stenciled on fabric? That's something you feel comfortable with, or have you ever painted on fabric? Okay. All right, I think that's enough there. Let's grab some more of the green. We're going to do this guy up here. If you feel more comfortable taping it down, I'm sure you can make it stick. Okay, I will use the same color up here. And then let's switch to this other color, this other green. I'm not going to rinse off my brush or anything. We'll just go right in. So you get some of those colors blending together when you don't rinse off your brush like that. I think I'll go with this guy over here. You could also take some tape and any areas where you might be a little close, like a painter's tape, just cover up that area and then you won't have the chance of going over top of that area. So that's always a little fix that you could do. Little hack. Of course, I'm not doing it. Living dangerously here. We'll see in the end if it was worth the risk or not. And there's a little guy right here. Let's do that one. This little leaf and stem. We'll go with these ones down here. You can add a little white to this if you want to lighten it up. Like I said, I'm just going to keep it very basic. And then if I want to still embellish, oops, I just moved that with my hand. To get these lined up again. If you want to embellish later, you could just do it with either, I would say with a detail or a liner brush would probably work great. That's fairly close. It's not exact. How come I can't get it? Maybe I moved it already. There. All right, well, it is what it is. Let's see. That's fairly close, I think, now. It does help to have that nice base underneath to give us a firm foundation here for the stippling that I'm doing with the brush. All right, this one's going to be a little tight in here, so I'm just going to use the edge of my brush to come in the middle. Got another skinny one right here. When you put, if I do these as red berries or like purple even, that green that I've overlapped with there will give it like it's almost across the color wheel from red, so it'll kind of neutralize it and make it more of a shadow, which is kind of a good thing, right? All right, let me see. Let's do, which ones do I want to do right here, I think. And we'll just come down on this one with the stem. Hopefully I haven't forgotten any. I think we're going to go into these leaves right here. And let's look. Is there anywhere else? I think right here. Now, before I go and do something else, like some of these you could do them as flowers too, the little leaf shapes. Totally up to you. I just want to make sure I have balance here. So I'm going to look at the color. I've got a lot of green down here in this corner. I could do just a little more up here. Let's just take this off and we'll look at it. Okay. So yeah, I think I could do maybe right here. We'll do this one as a green. I'm mostly going to line that up again. It looks like I need a little more paint here. And then I'm going to get this little one. Which one was I going to do? I think I will just do this one right here. And I'll do this one too. Okay, let me take a look and see which ones I need to give them a little more as far as paint. All right, I'm looking just for the leaves. It's hard to tell sometimes, right? These ones could use a little more. Second layer. Before I switch my colors. I don't mind it being a little bit unfinished looking either. That's kind of a nice look at times. All right, so let me line this up again more or less. And let's rinse off this, actually we're going to just keep this, use the brush and just wipe off some of this paint. I'll go into some blue right now instead of going into like a normal flower color, even though there are some nice blue colors. This one's Cobalt Hue, and I'll just take a little bit of that. So it's going to turn more of a teal here if it's blending with that green. And let's do, get this lined up again. I guess it would have made sense to tape it up. So lesson learned. Go in with some blue here. It's going to be a very colorful bag. Very pretty. Perfect for the summer or anytime you love looking at flowers. So maybe it's in the middle of winter and you just feel like painting some flowers. This would be a perfect one for you. And then I'm going to go over here. And I got a little bit of, looks like something on there, some little fuzz. I'm going to come right over here. Push this down. Let me know what colors you're going to do on yours, or if you were doing it, what you would do for colors for the other flowers. Just curious because there's so many options with flowers. I do love all of the colors, so it's going to be hard to decide. Loving this blue. It's so gorgeous. Let's see. Do I want any more blue flowers? I think I'll just do... Oh, I kind of want to do something down here. Maybe these little dots. We'll just pull those in as blue right here. And I'm kind of loving this blue. I wonder if I should do the letters in the blue. Maybe I'll wait and I'll decide to be patient, right? They almost look like blueberries. Maybe that's why I love them. I love blueberries. Let's see, do I want to do this one? I had originally pulled this one, but I kind of think this Sky Mist. This is Skyline, or this is Sky Mist. So let's do a nice light blue here. And we're going to create some blue. I think that's a little too dark. Let me come down here and use some of that. I've got that other blue on there, so it's kind of overtaking the color. I'm just going to grab more of that light color, pounce into that, and then there we go. All right, where else should we do a little bit of blue? Maybe this little guy. And let's do some blue. Oh, decisions. I'm looking at the pattern to see. Do these two dots here in blue. Maybe I'll grab a little more of that dark blue up here. And this one. And then let's just do this little branch in blue. That'll tie in a little blue over here. Okay, so here's what we have now. Okay. Yeah, I'm not really having to deal much with offloading my brush because of the fabric. It just absorbs the excess. So maybe it would still be a little more crisp if I was offloading, but it's still giving me a really pretty result. Okay, let's do some purple. So I'm going to get rid of most of this. And I might use my baby wipe here to also help me with this because there is some green in there. I might want to switch, but I think I will do a little purple first and then we'll see if it's major. I just don't like getting these brushes really wet or anything because then they do definitely bleed. All right, let's use a little purple. We'll also pour a little pink. This purple is called lavender. And then let's do this one. This one is magenta. Let's see, which one do I want to do first? I think I'll do this one in magenta first. All right. So it doesn't look like I'm getting too much of that blue in there. Even if it did, it would still be okay. I'll just go to the middle first and then start to go to the edges. I mean, kind of careful here around that green. That's dramatic, right? Definitely a pop. You gotta love the pop of fuchsia, magenta. So pretty. Oops, I went into that little one there. I guess that one's gonna be magenta too. I need to go a little bit more slowly when I'm going around the edges. I'll do this one in magenta too. All right, let me hold it up here. So that's what we have with magenta. What do I want to do? Should we do a pop of, let's do our, if I want to have it like a really unified, I could bring the magenta, but we could also do it where we have like coral in one spot, we have yellow, we have our purple over here. What do you think? I think that would look really pretty to have all those other colors. So let's do that. Let's put our purple down here. Still has some of the magenta in it. Kind of pretty with that magenta popping on the edges there. Let's do this little guy in purple also. And then I'm going to also do a yellow one, and before we leave the purple and magenta though, let's do, let me think, what do I want to do? Let's do these little guys in purple. Some little circle ones here. So being a little more careful. The brush is probably a little too big for this section, but I'm going to be stubborn and make it work. It's pretty. Even where I went over with the green earlier, it's quite beautiful. And let's do just a little more magenta. We'll grab that and do these two little ones here. A little magenta, a little purple in there. Very pretty. And let's do these little circular ones right here. Looks like I went over with the green there, so I'm just going to cover that one up. But I should have filled those in before I moved it. Okay, I think we're good. And there's a couple little guys here. And I probably forgot to do the green there, so I'll go and maybe I'll just fill it with magenta right now. Then I can always go over it with the green if I feel like it needs it. It might need it. Okay. I forgot a leaf there too, looks like. Let's finish up these little magenta purple ones. All right, new brush. I'm going to just throw this into the water and get my next brush. This one is the 3/8. It doesn't matter what the size. You could still use the big one, but since I used that big one already, I'll just go ahead with the yellow here with this size. Nice pop of color. I'm just covering up those bits of green there that I accidentally did. Let's do some yellow over here. And I think I'll make this one yellow too. I'll just go over top of that green. Okay, and then let's see, do I want to make this yellow up here? I think so. I'll go with yellow up there. And then I'll use that same yellow for the top of this flower here. There's these little spiky things. Oops, I keep on shuffling that. There we go. And I think there's another one like that right over here. Right, let's take our coral. This one is called Spring or Pink Melon. I'll take a little of that pink melon, a little bit of yellow. Okay, and then let's do, what to do. Let's take a look at this. We still have this flower grouping here. I wonder if I want to mix the coral with the red, with that pink, the magenta, I should say. I think so. Let's try it. Put both of those together. Ooh, that's pretty. I like it. Okay, looks like I have a couple leaves I have forgotten to do, so I'm going to just rub this off onto my rag and then grab my green. Get that one done, get this one done. And then I had this one. I'll just do the stem real quick. Okay. Pretty. Really beautiful. All right, let's do this. Put this back, and I think I will do the blue for the lettering. So I'll just rub this off. It might, or do I want green? No, let's do blue. Just getting into those bristles, I'm going to offload slightly. It's mostly lined up here. Then we'll just do a light tap. Very light tap for the first layer. So you're not going to get 100% coverage here. And this cobalt is really pretty. Good first layer. I'm holding on with a good grip here so it doesn't move around. And then we'll go back into a quick second layer. See if I can pour this without moving my hand. Just a smidge. Don't need too much. This would be so pretty on a door hanger too. And then you could just personalize the colors however you like. We're still going to do that second layer, the overlay. Okay, that worked out great. Suddenly the words add so much to it, right? So you could wash this. I would throw it in some water for a while, give it a spray, and then wash it off. It's easier to clean if you do it right away, but obviously since I'm doing this live on YouTube, I can't really do that. However, I'm pretty happy with that first layer. It's not perfect, but I don't need it to be perfect. I'm pretty happy with that. And then as far as my overlay, since I didn't have it, their first one taped over, I might need to adjust this slightly, but I've got a good idea of how I'm going to do this. And I'm just going to see if I want to do any a little darker for those. Let's see. So I've got it's mostly light, so I think I'll just throw that in there. Let's start with the light color. We'll grab this light blue. And I'm just tapping into that light blue. And then I'll do my blue flowers with the light blue center. All right, that's lined up pretty good. Better to hold it right next to the surface so it doesn't have a chance to bleed under. I don't know if I'll need another layer of that. That's kind of pretty the way it is, but I might just give it a second quick layer. You could use white too for this, but since I've already got the blue poured, I'll just use what I have right now. Okay. Then I think I'll take the purple and mix it in with that blue just to get a light purplish blue color. We'll just add a quick highlight to these little cute little berries here. And I'll give a quick highlight over, let's see, to these. It's cute. And we could go lighter or darker here. Since this is dark, I will go ahead and grab the blue again and just come over with this with a quick lightening here. Let's add a little bit, let's see, how about we do some yellow? I'm going to wipe this off on my rag, get rid of most of that purple, take some yellow, make sure it's coming out as yellow, that looks good. It's a little bit more, and then I'm going to come into the middle of these guys. We'll see if that's light enough when we take off the overlay. Let's do a yellow center here. Yeah, let's make some little yellow dots here. I think I'm going to do coral in the center of this one, so I'm just going to dip into that coral and use the yellow and the coral to make that center. Let's also do that over here. I don't know. Let's see if that's going to be light enough. We'll try it. If not, we'll just add another layer. I'll go back to my yellow up here, line that up. Ooh, that one I ended up with a lot of paint. Let's hope for the best. More yellow over here. Oh my goodness. No, that was a lucky one. I thought for sure it was going to smudge that, but it worked out great. I don't know, sometimes I'm rebellious with my painting. I don't always feel like it has to be absolutely perfect. So I'm okay with a little bit of mishaps. Sometimes you get these happy little accidents, right? We don't have to have everything perfect. I say that over and over. Maybe I'm trying to talk myself into it. All right, I'm going to wipe this off and then go back to that light blue. So it might turn a little green here, the yellow and the blue. It's not too bad. I'll just wipe off some of that and then just get some fresh blue. Then let's put that over on these coneflowers or daisies or whatever these are. And it looks like I haven't done this one and this one still. I might go with yellow for my purple. It's opposite on the color wheel, so we'll get a nice pop, but I'll need a second layer for sure. And let's do yellow on this one too. All right, let's check it out and see what we need to still do. Oh, I think I forgot this one. Could go slightly lighter with our highlights, I think, so I might come back in there. Let's do the fuchsia or the magenta for our cutie pie right here. Give this a nice pop. And then let's see what we want to do by hand, if any. So I can see, I know it looks kind of garish on here, right? But then when you look at it here, it looks so pretty and bold. I think I'm going to just have to hand do it. So let me grab a brush. Not sure which one I want to use. Try this one first. This might be a little big. This one's hard to read. That's a little big. Let's try this one. Let's see if it's not too scruffy. I think that's okay. So I'll just take a little bit of that magenta and just come in here and make these a little more curved. A little fuzzy would be okay though, right? But anywhere you felt like it, this one did bleed under slightly there. Easy enough to fix. Anyone else that I want to give it a little love to? Maybe a little purple and magenta here on this one. You have fabric, it's not going to blend the same way, so use more paint. Okay, I have that little spot where I went over earlier with my paint felt, and splattered. So I could just make that leaf a little bigger maybe. Let's see, that's the darker green. I'll just make this slightly bigger here. Okay, that's fixed. I had some of my flower color go in there. That's okay, I don't really mind having the red in there too. That's really pretty actually. So if you do want to take care of any of your bridges, you can do that, where you're just filling in where the stencil covered up. But honestly, you could probably just leave it and nobody would really say, oh my gosh, that's not connected. If there's some really big ones like this one, maybe you want to do that. But totally up to you. I just do the really obvious ones. And it's quite pretty. All right, so I hope you like this. I might just do my bridges for my letters. I think I will do that real quick. And if you want to get it, it's 9938. This size that I used, I will look and see if I can read it. It's always on the edge here. Let's see if I can find it. If I can't find it now, I will put it in the comments for you. And make sure you like and subscribe so that you can get all my latest. I do a lot of painting, little painting tutorials too, not just stencils. You think I could see this? Ah, there we go. It is it's 9938-12-2. So whatever size 2 is. It fits a 12-inch, I believe. So that is the info that you probably need if you want the exact same size. And I can measure this bag and let you know how big it is in just a sec. All right, I'm making a mess of this. I should probably just leave it. I need to make this a little more watered down so my brush will glide on the fabric. Pull and twist. I'll just have to fix this now. Okay. Do the O's. And I think we're gonna call it. I'm gonna come back in with this. I'll find my white and just come right next to that so it'll cover it up. But I think we're okay. So you could still pop more colors on here if you want. If you wanted to do, let me find a white. I keep on adding to it, don't I? It's hard for me to stop. So let me fix my problem there. I will do that. I like to show you how to fix problems because we all make little mistakes, and at least I think most people do. Okay, pull and twist your brush. So I'm just going to come right above that. And I've got a little spot there. So easy to fix, right? We don't, well, not if you keep on playing with it. Sigh. Okay, now I've got to let that dry. But in the meantime, I will just use my white to just pop into those little highlights even a little more. All right, so maybe up here, we'll just put a little bit color there. We'll come in the middle of these guys. Maybe I'm going to blend that with some of that. That was the coral with the yellow, I think. So I'll just take that coral and yellow and go in the middle and give it a nice little blend. Pretty, right? You can do this with any of your colors. That one is more of the fuchsia. So I started it with the lighter color and now I'm adding the fuchsia. I'll go in here to these, give them more of a white center mixed in with this fuchsia color, magenta, maybe a little yellow. Yeah, let's get some yellow in there. This one needs some pizzazz here. Brighten that up. I'm okay with some of the dark showing though because it makes it even brighter. Some yellow. pop it on those little guys. Let's get more on this. Yeah, that's better. I'm going to just kind of press so they get covered up nicely. This one I forgot, making this a little brighter. Let's dip into the white again and just add a bit of white. There's a bit of yellow in there. Love it, love it, love it. Look at that. We'll put that little pop of yellow in with our blue. Pretty, pretty. See, I can't just stop. Let's do some yellow. I'm going to cover up that green spot that kind of popped up accidentally. A little more yellow. I don't know. Maybe you can stop. I have a hard time. Let me put a little bit of that yellow in this spot right here where the green came through. And I really better stop soon. But I want to get this a little darker again because I liked it better before, I think. Okay. Should I stop? Pretty much I should. I got one more thing to do. One more thing with those coneflowers or daisies, whatever these are. Just grab some white and you can just come to the top and make a bit of a curve. It's hard to blend. And then I'm going to take my white and fix my little mistake here. If I don't tell anybody though, they won't know. And it's all good. Okay. Happy painting, everybody, and happy stenciling. And if you need the code to get your discount, make sure you check in the comments and please like and subscribe. Happy painting.